All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's weekly town hall meeting, July 24th, 2023. Today's agenda is project and development updates, documentation updates, marketing updates, and collaborations. Bob will start us off with project and development updates, please.
Thank you. So in the beginning, I have some updates on various engineering initiatives that we have been undertaking. So what's happening as an organization is that we are moving on to a new blockchain platform, which is centered around user level smart contracts. In the past, whenever we wanted to deploy something or any changes, this used to be uh, changes in the core blockchain, mostly involved hard forks, etc., etc. With Peerplays too, we are entering a new era. It's like a paradigm shift, and many of the functionalities which we had to literally hard code is now viable via smart contracts. And we are also able to get a lot of these new features like GraphQL, support for log aggregation with and uh, graphing with Prometheus, etc., etc. So over the last couple of months, we have been undertaking various trainings to prepare our team towards this new platform that we're building. And we're we're also we're not just building the new platform, we are already starting to use the same with one of our DApps. So we have been conducting various trainings. We started with a training on the Peerplays 2 platform, how to deploy it, how to deploy the Peerplays 2 in a box environment. So what we've done is in the past, for us to reach this point of having a easy way of deploying via Dockers, etc., it took us like a few years. But with Peerplace 2, we already have an environment where we can launch the end-to-end development environment using Dockers on pretty much any machine. So we did a demonstration on that, and this is also a shout out to everybody to experiment, and if you find bugs, please keep raising them. Then we have been doing multiple hands-on trainings on smart contracts. So one of the trainings are focused on the basics and various tools available. Then we did yet another one focused on uh, this together DApp development and how we can use the smart contract capabilities. So these sample contracts and content is available. The discussions are recorded. Once again, everybody is encouraged to go through them, be ready for what's coming up. And we're also introducing few other trainings. GraphQL is another new technology that we are using. We're already using this for together. So, and for the future applications as well, we'll be using GraphQL instead of REST APIs and traditional RPC. Whenever possible, we'll be using it. So these are some of the important trainings and initiatives that we are rolling out. So I thought of mentioning it here because these are not mere trainings, but this is more or less an introduction to a new paradigm. And we're also rolling out security training, essentially focused on OWASP uh, top 10 vulnerabilities. So all the DApp developers and all the developers are requested to take this training because there are gaps in many of the apps that we're building, and it's essential that we attempt to fix those. Another important change that I thought of mentioning here is that In the past, having this log aggregation, monitoring, etc., for our platforms, it had taken um, it had taken time for us to implement. Like these used to happen towards the end of the development cycles. But now, starting from the previous quarter, we have started bringing in these modern practices to our development cycle early on. So this had input from everybody, developers, DApps, developers, DevOps, and everybody. So that's something really appreciated, and we have to keep doing this for the future as well. Now, moving on to our engineering metrics, let's go to the next slide. So I had given an insight in the regarding our Q2 performance, which was not very admirable. But starting from last uh, like for the last 2 weeks, we have made it. We have started making extremely good progress now that our development has started for multiple applications. This is the dollar metrics that we track is improving. So as we can see that the release time is uh, it is going down. So the time between releases, we literally had no releases in the previous two quarters, but just in the last week we had three releases. So the in the dollar metrics, one of the aspects that we look at is the commit time or the change lead time. So we're able to reduce this to 25 days right now, and our release time is the time between the releases is literally a week now. So I think this will keep increasing for the next few months. Now, moving on to the number of deployments, as I mentioned, this is also looking really good. So in the previous week, we had three releases across the discovery project. We had that is a Peerplays 2. We had one release, and on Next we had a hotfix release, and Together app also we had a release. So we are uh, the metrics is 1.4 deployments per week. I think in the upcoming weeks, we have to maintain at least our bi-weekly release for Together, so that we can maintain this healthy uh, metric. In the next slide, we have the throughput, which is also was dismal in the previous quarters. Now we are catching up, and we are back in the healthy region across the as per the industry standards. Again, this also needs to increase a little bit, and I think Together developers, you can contribute to this one. And the next one is finally the quality metric. So this the quality metric. Apparently, the Dora tool has taken the next deployment, considered it as a hotfix deployment. So that is why we have a failure rate of 25%. In any case, this uh, this looks pretty impressive. Now, let's move on to the product updates. In the first slide, the slide we have the summary on the graphene-based blockchain. So the no new developments happened over the last week, but we are verifying the latest beta release. So the hard fork on the public testnet is successfully completed, and the feedback is positive. We have no known bugs at this point in time, and we're waiting for the completion of the sites in uh, deployments. That is, we need to verify the Ethereum, primarily the Ethereum functionality, and once this is completed on the testnet, we go ahead with the mainnet release. So previously, we had a plan to do this on the 1st of August, uh, but we may have to postpone it by a few days, but based on the uh, time frame when we can complete the sidechain verification. But there won't be any code changes to be made apart from the change of the hard fork date. Okay, let's go to the next slide for Peerplays 2. So on Peerplays 2, we have a new alpha release point 0.21. Uh, so this release primarily fixed few issues with the integrated Peerplays 2 in a box environment. There was some challenges with the integrated explorer. We had addressed that. The current status is we have a working Peerplays 2 in a box environment, which is a Docker-based environment with uh, 11 nodes, which can be used to bootstrap the network anywhere. This also comes with with a basic Polkadot JS Explorer, which is customized for uh, Peerplays 2. So there was a little bit of customization required here because by default, this Explorer is not supporting this H160 or Ethereum style accounts that we addresses that we use. So we had to make a few changes there. And the current work is primarily revolving around one aspect is uh, the signing of transactions while deploying the smart contracts for on the Ethereum, sorry, on the substrate or ink level. That's not happening because the tools are not recognizing our chain. So we are investigating how to handle this. Uh, and apart from that, we've completely focused on the consensus level changes. So the plan is to come up with detailed documentation on how to implement the consensus, that is the proof of pulse consensus. So we have major challenges in the areas of upgrading the network, deploying the new runtime environment, etc. Because by default in Substrate, this uses the voting and staking. Since we're changing this behavior to bring in the proof of works consensus, uh, we have to understand the best way to handle this. So we're working on this. The first step would be the preparation of uh, detailed law level design documents, and then once those are approved, we'll move on with the implementation. So, and as I indicated earlier, we were able to demonstrate the deployment of smart contracts and the Together development team. Uh, I hope they are all set to start working with this version of the blockchain. So essentially, what's the plan is that the Together DApp, they'll be using the chain, the current version of the chain, the latest version to deploy the smart contracts, create accounts, etc. So we had given internal sessions to the DApp team, and uh, they are all set to start the blockchain integration. Let's move on to the next slide for next. Or next, we have a new deployment after a very long time. I think it's been 2 quarters, 6 months. So this release, this has the block explorer functionality available. This primarily helps people to look at the rich list, and this also supports the new APIs that we have introduced. Essentially, those were changes to Peerplays JS library. So these are new versions of the library. So the this latest release of Next, this uses the latest JS libraries, and all the documentation is available as such. So this is like a minor release, and we'll have a major release planned after the mainnet hard fork, and around August. Currently, the plan is to do one more release on August 10th, and that will mostly be the final release for Next, pending any severe bug fixes or security issues. Now let's go to the next slide. Finally, we have updates on Together. So here we have yet another MVP release, 0.2 available. So the previously available features they are enhanced in this release. And as I indicated earlier, we're all set for starting the blockchain integration. And QA is in progress, and we are also starting the automated QA testing with an Impal tool. This is also very commendable because when we were working on Next, this automation had started very late in the development cycle. So this time we're changing that pattern, and we have this commendable tool being integrated from day one. So I appreciate Saurabh was working on and collaborating with the Nimble team on this. So, and yeah, on in this context, the next update is that we're working with a marketing uh, vendor for the initial PPC campaigns for launching of the app. So we have various proposals from them, and we're trying to evaluate and give our feedbacks on these uh, campaigns they have prepared. And yeah, the application is available on the URL toto.peerplays.download. So please take a look, and we're happy to hear any feedback. That's all from the development team. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. So for our documentation update this week, recently completed, we have our API node documentation, and then also that includes our market cap API documentation. Upcoming, we have Peerplays 2.0 docs. That is going to be its own site. So much like we have our consumer docs, we have our infrastructure and our developer docs. We're going to have our Peerplays 2.0 docs. And that way it's going to be nice and separate from everything Peerplays 1. And we will have everything related to Peerplays 2.0 in its own section. So also in progress, we have our regulator monitoring dashboard for GBC, data specifications. That's in progress. It's coming along pretty well. We have our container objects, RMD objects, which includes events and reports, and other related objects. And then we have documentation for jurisdiction objects. So that is what's coming up. Thank you very much for the documentation updates. And that's what I got. Thanks.
Vlad and Oksana for marketing and content updates. Vlad, get us started, please.
Hi, everybody. So YouTube Shorts continues to be doing well and be our sort of top platform in terms of viewership, but we are seeing some growth in our LinkedIn audience, especially over the past 2 weeks. I think we had nearly 100 new followers or something like that. And yeah, this is related to just posting every day, maybe twice a day sometimes. Search and Gather gave us a final presentation, and we had some feedback for them around their overall approach for Together. Not too much that I'm willing to make public right now, but basically at a high level, we're getting aligned to decide how to move forward. We're hoping for more emotional creative for the ads and also more conversion-driven metrics, especially for users that are going to be lower down the funnel. Yeah, next slide, please. Our newsletter went out last week, and we'll have our second one probably going out this week. And had a 35% open rate, close to 5% click-through rate. So overall, pretty decent numbers considering we hadn't sent out a newsletter in a while updating the community. And we'll be continuously updating it so that people who can watch the town hall will actually be updated through the newsletter as well. We'll include all the other happenings in there also. So if you haven't yet, go check out our new website. There'll be more on that soon. And you can sign up for a MailChimp newsletter there. Yeah, Oksana?
Hello, everyone. So I am pleased to report that the design phase for the Sans page has been successfully completed, showcasing a comprehensive and user-centric approach. The design process began with conceptualization, the page structure, and functionality. Detailed wireframes were created to outline the layout and the flow of the page. Interactive prototype, this allowed for valuable user testing and feedback, leading to iterate improvements. Colors, typography, and imagery were thoroughly chosen to reflect the brand essence. Distinctive and reusable illustrations were crafted to enrich the page's visual appearance and enhance brand identity. So reusable design elements were implemented across the page, ensuring a consistent and harmonious user experience. Continuous learning and exploration of AI tools relevant to marketing needs have been ongoing, showcasing a commitment to leveraging cutting-edge technologies for the project's success. Seeking to elevate user engagement, generative animation elements that react to mouse hovers have been sourced and implemented to the page as well. The building of the Sans page is currently in progress, which is why we are showing only the little bits of it, but we are creating interactive blocks in each page, creating hovers, elements, and animation that will be interesting to watch and overall would provide a great experience. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Vlad and Oksana. Jonathan, collaboration updates, please.
Good day. These are the collaboration updates for Peerplays this past 2 weeks. We worked with the Government Blockchain Association, furthering on decentralized ID. We had 2 meetings with them and contributed to their standard. This is part of the blockchain maturity model standard, which will incorporate how Peerplays works. So that was all good. And we have no dedicated team updates for this past 2 weeks. So just all steady. So that's all the updates for this week in the collaborations and the team.
Jonathan, and there was also no questions that came in from the community. Please be sure to either send your questions to Vlad or post them on the Telegram app or Rocket Chat, or you can PM us on any of our socials to ask us any questions, and we'll be sure to answer them here in the town hall. So thank you all so much for coming, and I hope you have a great week. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Ciao.